Oh my God, seems to be the reaction to the censor board's decision on Akshay Kumar's starrer Oh My God 2. One of the actors in the film, 16-year-old Arush Varma, can't watch the super hit movie in theatres because it's rated A and he's underage. But that's only one part of the problem, right? The larger question is the movie's essential theme is sex education and making teenagers and adolescents more aware. Rating it as an adult film instead of a UA seems to be defeating that purpose and raising questions over whether it is perpetuating stereotypes and not talking to teenagers about those very things that we really need to be talking to them about. Joining us now is Arush Varma, who has started an online petition along with him, his mother Shruti Varma, and the director of OMG 2, Amit Rai. Thanks all three of you for joining us. But first to you, Arush, you must be mighty disappointed, not just in that adult certification, but the entire approach that adults like in the rest of the society have towards a film of this nature on the topic of substance.
Yes, I was very disappointed because from the very moment that I got this film, I understood that it not only is meant to entertain and instruct, but it also highlights a very important social issue. And I was sure that this film is going to do very well when it's released. And the moment I got news that the film isn't given an A certificate, I was upset because not allowing the target audience of the film to watch the movie kind of defeats the point of making a movie itself. And it was also kind of frustrating to realize that I couldn't watch my own film. So yes, I was disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't watch your own film, but I think there's a larger question, right? You could have sneaked in to watch that movie, but the point that you're making with your online petition is just making a larger issue, saying that, look, this is something that we should be watching, we should be talking about, not something that should be seen as taboo and keeping the teenagers away. It beats the purpose.
Yes, I could have perfectly sneaked into the theaters and just watched the movie, and I don't think anybody would have been able to stop me or anyone my age from getting in. But that's not the message that I want to give out. I don't want to say to prove yourself right, you do something that's unethical or illegal. Instead, if you have a problem with a decision that you think is rash, you should work towards changing it, not towards disrespecting the system that went into making that decision. That's why I made the petition, so that if people who want to watch the movie who are under the age of 18, they can watch it fairly and ethically instead of illegally.
Right, you should be praying to all the gods that your petition gets answered by the censor boards. But tell me, amongst your teenage friends, before I get to your mom and the director, amongst your teenage friends, has this movie created a buzz? Are they talking to you about it? Obviously, most of you will eventually catch these movies on an OTT platform. But at the moment, in terms of the conversation that this movie sparks off, give us a sense of what the conversations with your friends are about this.
Well, firstly, they are all praising me. They're saying that, we see you every day and we know you to be a cheerful, humorous child. So we didn't expect you to play such a complicated, intricate role. But after that, many of my friends have told me that the movie was an eye-opener for them and their friends. Because unlike me, there are many people who I know whose parents are not as open as mine are. Even now, they run from the topic of sex. Their daughter gets periods, they don't tell the son what periods are. Things like that. Their relatives get pregnant, the kid has no idea what a pregnancy is. So this film was an eye-opener to a lot of people's parents that sometimes being open is the best way to help see certain concepts. And my friends also learned that they should not trust everything on the internet. Because my generation, me as well, we have spent probably 60% of our lives on the internet. And it's easy to get misguided or misinformed. And this film has taught us a lot because of how many important things it addresses.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Right. Shruti, it's also a large issue for parents as well, right? The movie sends across the message of having to spark off a conversation with your children. And that's really the message you're sending across by supporting this petition.
Of course, because from day one, we have supported this cause, supported this film in totality, because it was very, very brave of Amit to be creating an entertainment out of such a serious subject, creating a balance wherein when the audience goes, they get the message right and they come out entertained. So when I got to know that Arush is not going to be allowed because it is having a A certificate was the last thing that ever crossed our mind. So it came to us as a very big shock. And of course, the mother in me tells me that you should go and do a dharna so that it gets UA. But silently, we are protesting and we are just hoping that somewhere someone hears us and this really gets an honest viewing to the right audience, which is the teenagers, and not only teenagers, but the teenagers watching it with their family, because that is how conversation will start.
Right, you're making a very important point there. Don't just think about teenagers watching it, watch it with them so that you can talk about it without a sense of taboo. Amit, largely that seems to be the purpose of your film. Did you go, oh my God, when this adult certification came through?
Yeah, now it is oh my censor. It's not oh my God anymore. The intent was to bring the parents and the kids along to watch the film together. You can hear me? Hello? Hello?
Amit, I can't hear you.
Hello, you can hear me?
Yeah, you go ahead. Your audio is a little feeble, but you go ahead.
Okay. Now the intent was to bring the parents and the kids along to watch the film together so that they can start the conversation together. They can have a conversation. What the intent was to bring them together. But the purpose is now defeated since we got an A certificate. And as he rightly said, he is in the film. He has acted in the film. He knows every scene in and out, but he can't see his own film.
Yeah, it strangely reflects the hypocrisy in our society, right, Amit?
Yeah, but now on the other hand, let us not blame the society, because society has taken the film in their lap and they are praising the film. They are writing about the film on the Facebook wall. The YouTuber, influencer, critics, everybody is talking about the film, and they are raising the pertinent question that why they have given the A certificate. It's the censor who is to be held responsible, because they have given the certificate. I won't say it's a moral policing, but the way they have reacted, they have decided that this film should not be seen by a teenager or adolescent. And I don't understand. They have taken this decision on behalf of every individual who is in India, or for that matter, teenager or adolescent in India. I fail to understand why they have not consulted anybody or a very sensible mind that whether this film really deserves a certificate or not. And now, after everybody commits mistake, it's human, it's very human. But now, after this grave mistake, and they came to know through various channels, students, YouTubers, bloggers, audience, critics, everybody is singing the same song, that why they have given the A certificate. Still, there is no answer from their side.
Right.
So I'm just waiting.
Right. You're saying there needs to be a review. You're saying there needs to be a review of this decision as quickly as possible so that the purpose of the movie doesn't get hit. But tell me, Arush, you've worked with Akshay Kumar now. It must have been an extraordinary experience. After all this, what would be the most difficult topic for you to approach with an adult, as far as something, your generation finds very difficult to approach with an adult, with your mom?
Well, when a topic or like sex education comes to it, when a topic like sex education is in the conversation, there was no hesitancy in me. I was always very open with my parents, so I could always talk about things that I was curious about. But if you were to ask me a topic that I would be skeptical about asking my parents, I can't think of anything. It's just my parents and I share a very close relationship, and we've always been very open. But I would say education-wise, because uh, no, I can't say. I've never had any topic. My parents
Because
never
your
left
mom,
any room for me. No, my parents just never left any room for, hesitating in me. It was always, if you have any curiosity, any doubt, anything whatsoever, you are open to ask us. We understand if you make mistakes, and we'll help
okay,
you, fix those
okay.
mistakes. So that's what I've learned since I've
Well,
been raised.
I'm the parent of a 17-year-old myself. What's your advice to parents?
My advice to parents, my advice to parents or my mom's advice to parents?
Your advice to parents. What do you think parents should learn to do? Not to your parents, to parents in general.
Oh, well, my advice to parents would be just sometimes if sometimes your kids need your attention the most. Sometimes when they feel at their lowest, what they really need, instead of you comparing them to someone else or you giving them some teaching, what they really need is just a tight hug and like an assurance that everything will be okay. And even when the thing about my character in Oh My God 2 was the whole world was against him and only his family stood by him, which gave him the strength to fight. And that's in one way that I think me and Vivek are alive. And that is, even if the whole world was against me, my parents would and my sister would stand by my side. So my advice to parents is never let go of their hand,
Okay.
even if everyone frowns on you for doing so.
Well, that's a very important advice that you're giving all of us here. Arush, Shruti, last words as a mom as well as Amit. We're running completely out of time. Quick thoughts finally on what we need to do to break some hypocrisies and taboo in our generation and in the society in general.
I did not get your question.
Let's start.
No, quickly,
Let's start.
what do you
Start
think
talking
we
openly
should do
about
first to break taboos and hypocrisies in our society?
I think we should be very honest to ourselves first, most importantly, because I think individually, anybody and everybody from the censor board, I'm sure if I pick up the phone and talk to them, they would be feeling the same that I feel. It's just that over a period of time, if they've realized that what has happened shouldn't have happened, I think the censor board should have come back and said that, okay, now that the audience wants it, I think we've made a mistake. We should review and bring it open.
Okay.
Let the parents decide. Let every individual, as Amit said, that who is going to decide? I will just give you a small example. My son was in standard 5th when he came back to me and he told me, can I use your laptop? I want to know the meaning of porn. He was in 5th standard. And I was so scared as a parent that even if I don't let him use my laptop right now, in my absence, he is going to type porn. And what is going to come out is scary. So I made him sit and I opened my laptop. I typed porn and I said, this is what you're seeing. Do you want to see this, Arush? And he said, no. So it is the parents it is the child, it is the parent who will decide what the child has to be shown and how. No one else.
A very important message there from you, Shruti, as well as Arush on parenting, just going far beyond cinema. We run completely out of time, but Amit, I hope the purpose of your movie convinces the censors perhaps to review their decision on this. Obviously, it's a conversation we need to have all in our homes, whether we're watching the movie or not. Thanks so much to all three of you for joining and sharing your thoughts